Niners, fam. Smooth. Come on, let's do this, man. Are you feeling the intensity that's sort of building up now as we go headed toward the beginning of the season? I've tried to figure this out. It has a lot to do with the stress levels we were under last year, thinking we would come back and get what we lost just the year before. Now, your expectations are high, but they're not, maybe you are, but they're not sitting in that seat where better win that Super Bowl this year, goddamn. I'm not doing that, and last year that was the case, see? So now it's kind of fun to see what's going to happen. You're watching things develop. Like the pieces are the puzzle's just starting to fit together, it would seem, from what we're hearing, but it's fun being a 49er fan again. Last year it was like, it became, so I can compare it to a job. It was a job being a 49er fan because they better win it this year. NBA situation, for instance, Tom Thibodeau. And I bet you Tony, Aussie Tony must be loving it. Thibodeau got the Knicks to a place where they hadn't been in 25 years. They fired him. This is what I'm saying. When people say get rid of Shanahan, you want to go back to where we were 10, 15 years ago? Has it been that long since Harbaugh? Yeah. See, this is why okay. Surely I digress. Let's jump into this because there's stuff to get. I want to get your opinion on a number of things. But the first round pick is impressing. Yeah, Mick, it's too early to give him the badge just yet, but he's already looking good. 49ers defensive line coaches giving glowing praise. Mykel Williams is checking in all the boxes. And, of course, the Niners are saying great things about the defensive line anyway, though. It would be hard to fake the enthusiasm the various position coaches are displaying right now. Also, it would be hard to make most of what is being set up. How do you make that stuff up? I guess if you're a polished coach pro, I guess you could come out there and fool the media and fool us and everybody else if you need to do that. But why would you need to do that? You know? Any fears of Mykel Williams being a bust can't be put to bed just yet. But the coaches are certainly excited about the progress already. Did we look? No, I know I wasn't. But there were some people who thought Solomon Thomas was going to be the shiznit. Did we have the same thing? Were we try to remember back then? Were we thinking great things about Solomon Thomas, OTAs, and so forth? History is important for these reasons. So when you get to these points like this, where you're going through the same thing again, are you right to do so? To the Niners folks, we're going to go to review some of what the defensive line coaches tapped upon yesterday regarding the players and the whole potpourri of what is going on in 49ers way. Because I know you've been covering the news as well. But Trent Williams, Trent! Dude was noticeably absent from the Niners practice open to reporters last week. Okay, panic time, here we come. The sky is falling, Chicken Little lives. See, Trent Williams means a lot to that offensive line. I see people already complaining about we paid Brock Purdy $53 million and didn't really do much to the offensive line. By the way, I don't know if we can assume that nothing's been done about the offensive line. You see, we don't know what's going on with the offensive line because nothing's being said about it. We do know there's 2 or 3 good players on that offensive line. Now, I don't know about the depth. See, that's the thing. These guys that are supposedly depth may not be depth. They might be starters. We're going to find out more about that later. But there's no point to just don't invest too much worry into that right now. Coach Shanahan confirmed that Williams reported for the start of offensive program in April, but he also that T. Will hadn't been around in recent weeks. See, this is Shanahan. You don't say it then. Don't cause panic. Niners officially kicked off OTAs last week, as we all know. Shanahan said he was here at the beginning of and not OTAs phase 1. He's Trent Williams. He doesn't need to come to phase 1 anyway. Let's not make that anything more than what it is. He hasn't been here in a couple of weeks, but expected to see him soon. Quote, that was Shanahan, as he said that then. But the media will have one more opportunity to observe practice this week on Wednesday, and there's a possibility Williams could participate on Tuesday. Yesterday, Aussie Tony's favorite coach, offensive line coach, Chris Kasork, forced to confirm the reports to Williams, has reported for OTAs, and I don't know, but can we exhale? I'm going to, man, because I get tired of tripping on the 49ers doing things like this. Fam, I'm going to ask you about this. Because remember, I used to get into fights with, I may be talking to somebody I used to get fights with about Kendrick Bourne. Remember those days we go back and forth? Let me ask you this, though. The wide receiver problem that so many insist the Niners have, with currently only having 2 for sure starters, Juwan Jennings, and they're still calling Ricky Pearsall a rookie for reasons unknown. He was here last year. Some of you people are writers. He's not a rookie. Juwan and Ricky are currently projected for opening day. The Niners have expressed confidence in the wideout room. Still some believe the team should explore options to strengthen the depth. Who knows? Who could be that 2025 NFL draft newbie, Jordan Watkins, who they're saying a lot of good things about him. Jordan Watkins physically doesn't have a lot of things to go ooh about. But he's doing a good job in practice right now. There's no pads on, I know, but still, you need to know your craft. And if you know your craft, it's going to show up even in OTAs. And Junior Bergen already looking like they'll be able to complete the designated jobs they're going to be given. Bergen is expected to contribute primarily as a returner on special teams. We already know about him in his 4-3. All right, I look forward to being in good field position this year. We just don't get that. But Bergen's here. We still don't know what's going on with Demarcus Robinson as he faces the possibility of a 3-game suspension to start the season. Demarcus Robinson showed his ass today, though. Did you hear about him? The dude went off. Beyond what Marcus has got experience. I mean, he's supposed to look good. Him and Brock was out there holding a clinic. But I say all that to get a heat check on one of my favorite ex-49ers. Kendrick Bourne, Mrs. Bourne's favorite baby boy. Fam, does he make sense for the Niners? I'm just asking. I ain't going to argue and fight with nobody about this year because Kendrick Bourne has been gone for a long time. And besides that, I do love the possibility. Brandon Austin of Pro Football and Sports Network, he also thinks so. He proposed a trade for the now Pats Kendrick Bourne, who started his NFL career with the Niners as a UDFA back in 2017. This may be why I fell so in love with this dude. I said, this dude, man. He said, hey. Pretty soon I was going, hey. Although he was playing against guys who were going to get cuts. I said, don't go overly excited. The guys he was just working on can't play. Turns out he can play. Not great, but he is definitely serviceable. I mean back at that time. From where I sit now, Kendrick Bourne is damn good. As you know, he spent his first 4 years with us. So he's a familiar fit for Kyle Shanahan. Kyle doesn't have to do anything but tell him to show up for practice. Remember that falling out they had? Kendrick was a rookie, a UDFA at that, coming in late to practice. Him and Shanahan, they said they could hear the screaming and yelling outside the room. I took a chance on you. You're going to come in here and embarrass me like this? Kendrick, I'm trying to help you. Help me help you. It's going getting crazy. But there is a reason that this could be a possibility. Austin wrote, Bourne's future with the Patriots is somewhat uncertain, especially since the new coaching staff has really no attachment to him. Since posting 55 catches and 800 yards in 2021, he hasn't surpassed 500 receiving yards in a season, and a torn ACL in October 2023 had impacted him, his availability for the past 2 years. See, I feel like it's been 2 years. Kendrick ought to be better by now. All right? But Bourne turning 30 in August, and the Patriots already bringing in Diggs, and Diggs is tearing his ass over there, though. Diggs, they're thinking about cutting Diggs, too. That's another story. I'm not getting into that. But Mac Hollins, as well, as veteran presence playing a role in New England, looks shaky for KB. The only problem is Kendrick Bourne's current contract with the Pats is a 3-year deal signed on March 21 of last year. Has an average annual value of $6.5 million with a $4.2 million signing bonus and a $5.5 million guarantee. That's already been done. The guaranteed runs. The contract runs through only one more year, though. 6.5? That's pretty cheap, isn't it? I mean, he doesn't have to start or anything. But I want somebody like him there, him and Demarcus Robinson, make sure that there's not going to be a problem. As far as I'm thinking. Fam, what do you think about that? I'm saying, I feel like I used to ask my parents for things. Mama, can I do this now? Because blah, 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 blah. I don't know. What do you think about Kendrick Bourne joining the team? Okay. And oh my God. 49ers are carrying a mind-boggling $92.7 million in dead money. That's $20.66 million more than the next biggest team, which is, of course, the Eagles at $58.68. A million above the league average. We sat and watched. We watched that happen too. Were you mindful of that when you saw, fam? If you're like me, you watched that exodus of expensive players leaving a couple of months ago, and I wasn't counting the cash penalties. I just didn't even think about that when they were walking out. I was thinking, the biggest thing on my mind was, what the hell are we gonna do now? Okay. And then Lynch is right. We're gonna, and every reporter in NFL community was saying, "What are you guys gonna do now?" Well, we're gonna build it. We're gonna build through the draft. What draft? Last year's draft? John, we're talking about rookies coming in. Little did they know. You know what? Lynch knew what he was talking. I got a feeling he knew what he was talking about. But fam, 70 players are contributing to that league-leading dead cap figure this year. Debo, I knew Debo was going to cost some money, but $34 million in dead. Eric Armstead, we're still paying for Eric Armstead at $15 million. Chavarius, $12 million. I'm not giving you the whole figure. I'm just throwing the top number. Leonard Floyd, $8 more million. Javon Hargraves, $6 more million. Juszczyk is a different story because he's coming back. So it's only going to be 3, 5, 7, 0. But they were thinking about getting rid of him too. Mitch Wisnowski, you think he can just walk? No, $3 million. Devondre, I can't play if I can't start Campbell. This is what really pisses me off. $2 million. Actually, over $2.5 million. 2,680. Dre Greenlaw, $1 million. Malik Collins, $1 million. Isaac Gideon. Man, Isaac, man, you ought to pay that money. You ought to pay that yourself. Boy, you sucked. John Feliciano, I thought he retired, and that wouldn't result in a dead cap. Well, it's only not. It's $470,000, but that's still. Cameron Latou, remember him? $428,000, but he had a rookie contract. I forgot about that. Drake Jackson, $366,000. His contract went over yet. Danny Gray, $212. God. Tabor Pepper, $150,000. Jared Kingston, $103,000. You know, I suspect, now we're playing dead cap from players that we lost 2 years ago. How long does this go on? And you know what? I did not even look. If anybody has I didn't even look to see. Remember we had $50 million the other day? in surplus. There's no such thing as surplus cash in the 49ers now. There can't be. God. Pleasant. Let's step over to Pleasant real quick before I get to the phone. Several of the Niners defensive assistant coaches spoke with reporters yesterday, offering insight into the team's offseason moves and preparations for the 2025 NFL season. And the Niners revamped the roster, with particularly on defense, after that army of key contributors departed in free agency. Of course, we all know about that. We're all holding our breath, hoping the 11 draft picks and John Lynch with his big grin, we're going to build that back through the draft. I honestly, I'll be honest with you, fam, because when he said that, I said, shit, we ain't got no money for free agents, do we? But I hope you guys know what you're doing. Because in the back of my mind, I said, this ain't going to friggin' work. So we're all holding our breath now, hoping the 11 draft picks and recent acquisitions will offset those losses. But it was all about the trenches, fam, in the draft this year. We knew that before the draft night. We knew all about it. That's all we talked about. Better get an offensive lineman in the first round. I told you. I said, 49ers, if they don't pick up a defensive lineman in the first round, I'm going to change my name and put anybody you want on this. I didn't say all that, though, did I? I mean, I knew they was going to get a draft and they was going to get a defensive lineman. This team's definition is defense. Even though you got a guy like Kyle Shanahan running that offense, this team wants to beat people up, and you're going to do that on the defensive line. The D-line was priority one. The Niners invested heavily by drafting Mykel Williams, Alfred Collins, C.J. West, my dog. Then followed that up by trading for edge rusher Bryce Huff. They weren't playing. They were serious. You get that defensive line back up to a place where people fear the 49ers. I ain't mad at that. The Oilers also welcome back Robert Saleh to D.C. Serious. We are serious. Serious moves. We don't need to see any more 6-11 seasons anytime soon. The Bryce Huff deal brings versatility to the Niners defense. Huff's short stint with the Eagles didn't go as planned. It's now being revealed that Huff was dealing with a torn wrist ligament. It's amazing how things are brought to you little by little. They didn't say anything about this 2-3 weeks ago. We went after Huff, a week or two ago? But they were just saying he had a bad year. Fangio's defense wasn't his style. He couldn't adapt to it. He wasn't good at it. He had an injury. What's a lineman going to do without his hands? So, that was the reason why it caused him to struggle to replicate the success of 2023. Season with the Jets where he tallied a career-high 10 sacks. Huff finished last year with 2.5 sacks. Some also believe he was misused in Philly. But this could be a pure blessing for us, man. Niners, Huff is now reunited with Saleh, and the Niners are optimistic about a resurgence. DL coach extraordinaire, Chris Kasorik, regarding Huff. Bryce has mainly throughout his career been an edge rusher in passing situations, so that allows you to use the versatility that you have in your room in various different ways. Bryce can also bump down as a spinner, stand-up dude. It allows you to have more moving parts across the front, allows you to slide your versatile guys around, move them around, put them in different spots, locate matchup issues that from a protection standpoint or a personnel standpoint that we can try to exploit with different guys. We are back to all gas, no damn brakes. When you got guys you can rotate around, and Sal's going to do that, and they're going to be coming off fresh, and all of them got a special skill set. Oh, I do like this. I mean, this is, Kasorik also believes Huff's wrist injury has last stalled his development, but still promises, show promises on tape. He had a wrist injury about midseason that I think kind of derailed his progression with it being a stand-up player. But I thought he was really coming along, and I thought he was getting better within his role of being more of a stand-up outside linebacker. You can see the progression of getting better. And then I think the wrist injury kind of set him back, and it's hard when you're progressing. And then all of a sudden, you get an injury that kind of stunts your growth. But you still saw a good player on tape. You still saw a player that could win one-on-one. It's a little bit different than a hand-in-the-ground role that he played with the Robert and the Jets, but still a good player who we're going to get him back to a little bit more with what he's comfortable with, putting his hand in the ground and getting off, getting him out of 2-point stance and back into a 3-4-point stance. It's where he's excellent at and what he feels the most comfortable with. Did you watch the cape on this dude? He's not that big, but my God, he's strong. He's like Nick. You know, I love that move. I kept picking back and forth. The offensive lineman comes at him. And then as the dude's off balance, quickly throws him to the dirt. The quarterback is dead meat. I said, ooh. Tech friggin' neek. Speed, timing, footwork. This dude is a bad mofo. I didn't watch Bryce in Philly. He wasn't playing that much anyway. But this dude's going to be ridiculous. I can't wait to see him and Nick. Boy, Mykel's going to learn some things from these two, ain't he? God. And you already know that Kasorik played a part in the Niners drafting Williams in the first round, right? Kasorik knows that Williams has been everything the Niners hoped for after doing significant pre-draft homework on him. Kasich said, "Quote: All the boxes checked off so far. His toughness, his love for the game, the skill set that we've been seen on tape, the skill set that his coaches and Georgia explained. See, as soon as he came from Georgia, I was already saying, this, I know we want him. They explained it, had it his body of work. A lot of the boxes have checked so far. Now we're out there in a geared down setting in OTA football right now that you won't truly get that true assessment of it until we put the pads on in August and really start going at this at the level that kind of correlates more to Sundays. But so far, so good. We're really you already seen coaches stand back out the way now. I bet you out there. Mykel's coming through. Get up out of the street, man. You get ran over. Kasich also. But so far, so good. We're really impressed with the kid. His love for the game, his toughness, his eagerness to learn, and then the skill set that backs that up. So the arrow's pointing up on all of it. Kasich also praised Williams' ability to rush from multiple spots along the line. That's what they've been talking about the whole time. Obvious passing down. Mykel, move to that inside, boy. Use that speed and agility of yours and get that quarterback. You're the run stopper. I mean, amazing at that. Anybody comes your way, you take them down, boy. Now I got the assassin on. I got two assassins on either edge. I got CJ West, my main dog, on the inside. Rudy, you was talking all that smack. The 49ers, you lost too much, man. You guys can't expect to finish anywhere but the basement. Well, Rudy, you can shut the bleep up now, can't you? Wait till the season gets started. If we sweep the Rams this year, Rudy, if we sweep the Rams, we sweep you this year, I'm going to be in on every chat you do. Just to show you how much I appreciate your existence. Woo! Oh! I mean, as I say, he praised Williams' ability to rush from multiple spots along the line, noting his effectiveness from the 9 tech all the way inside to the A gap. Passing game specialist and defensive back coach Daniel Bullocks is also impressed by what he's seen early on from Williams, a high-effort guy that can rush the passer, who can set the edge. Very excited about him, adding him to our team, him making our team better. Bullocks believes the improvements will benefit the secondary significantly, saying, I know one thing we ain't got to cover long. And you, boy, family, you know this is Robert Saleh. This is what he does. And he's got weaponry to do it now. Young kids who want to make a name for themselves. CJ! Oh man, I know they're going to get home. This is Bullocks. So that's good. A good thing on the back end where we don't got to cover long. We can see the ball, make plays on the ball. And also from a run game standpoint, I know them guys are going to stop that run. So all we got to do is just fit our gap. And I'm very excited with the guys that we got up front with the front seven. And again, it's going to make our job a lot easier on the back end. Booyah! God, I can't wait this season. Get this season started. Let's go. Oh, God. JJ. Come on in, JJ. Oh, Trey. Give me some
Ronbo.
Boop, bop, 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 bop. Trey out in Philly. Trey, man. Trent Williams is back. You know, and I'm telling you right now, hey Trey, how do you feel about Kendrick Bourne? Don't worry about hurting my feelings. If you don't like Kendrick, let me know. I want to know how many people like Kendrick and who don't. If he came back for like $6.5 million, and we signed him for 2 years, and maybe knock that down a little bit. I don't know if he's interested in it or anything like that. And Mykel Williams is doing good things in camp, man. What are you thinking? And I didn't even know. Did you know last year that Bryce Huff had a wrist injury?
Well, all right, so just to take that from the top, first of all, Ronbo, didn't know about Bryce's wrist injury. I knew there was some scheme issues there, and I know Birds fan. You know, I'm right in the heart of Birds territory.
I know. That's I'm glad you called first. I got
to deal with these sickos on a daily basis. They want to say, "Oh, we got fleeced." They're paying half the contract for a guy. If he's a double-digit sack guy, we got him for a 4th-round pick, right? Because that's the conditional. Like, come on, that's a steal.
Amen.
Second of all, about wide receiver, Ronbo. I know you mentioned Bourne.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I love Kendrick Bourne just because his time with the Niners, like Kyle schemed him up perfectly. He was great, but call me crazy. Like I almost want to see them take a shot. Like if this Ricky
Pearson.
Detroit versus everybody.
Shut your ass
yeah,
up.
Detroit. All right, Detroit.
You guys lost
Detroit
you lost your
versus-
center, buddy. Hey, what are you gonna do with that? What's that center out of Detroit that just retired? And he's still
You guys
talking.
lost your You lost both coordinators, your center. You know, I think your mascot even pivoted to another team. Get out of here, Detroit.
Oh God.
But
Shameless.
Ronbo, when it comes to receiver, call me crazy. I almost want to see them take a shot at I don't know, what does Keenan Allen look like? What does Amari look like?
Hey, Amari,
You know what I mean?
I'm so with you on Amari. I don't know where Keenan Allen, didn't he get signed? Oh, Frank Ragnow. Thank you, Tony.
I think he's a free agent.
Kendrick Bourne also talked smack on the Niners before he left in 2019. Don't forget.
Uh-oh. Maybe he was pissed off.
Wait, who?
Kendrick Bourne was talking trash about the Niners before he left. I didn't know Kendrick was talking trash before he left. I thought he left kind of quietly. But go ahead, Tony.
I thought we left on good terms.
He was on Instagram Live when he did it.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on, fam. All right, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Trey.
No, not Tony. It's Trey. Yeah,
Trey.
It's white chocolate coming in hot. But anyway, Ronbo, like I said, I like Kendrick, but I don't know. I'd almost want to see them, if the Ricky Sent injury or the Ayuk injury kind of bleeds into the season. I don't know. I think Keenan Allen looked pretty good last year. So
Yeah, he did.
Take a shot on a guy like him. But anyway, I want to pivot too because I know we're talking D-line here.
Yeah.
And Ronbo, I got to say, I bleed red and gold till I'm dead and cold. I keep it 100 and come in critical a lot of times. But Ronbo, that being said, they turned what was one of the most embarrassing D-lines to even be rolling out last year into what I think will be a top 5 to 8 squad. You know what I mean?
I'm with you on
maybe
that.
even better.
And that's not homerish. Look at these guys. They were good where they were. You got a nucleus of veterans that can show them how to be pros. I'm not about to doubt that.
Nah, Ronbo. I mean, exactly. And you know what? All right. As much as it kills me to do this, I got to give the Lambs some credit. At least they're not their fans. Their fans are bums, but I got to give their front office some credit. They rebuilt their defense in a couple of years.
They did.
But I think the Niners just did the same thing, Ronbo. I think this last draft they legitimately got 4 to 5 potential starters on D.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Trey, you know what though? Remember one thing though about that. Salah. I was getting ready to say Salah can outcoach McVay all day. I'm telling you right now, this is what people aren't talking about, but he will.
Yeah.
I know he will.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Ronbo, here's the thing, again, Mykel, Alfred Collins, TJ West, Nick Martin, Upton Stout. That's not even talking about Siegel. I think that's how you pronounce it. With the safety issues, he might be thrust into early playing time.
Yeah,
I just think we crushed it on D. Ronbo, Georgia didn't even use Mykel the right way.
You think even Georgia didn't?
Top 15 pick.
Really?
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, I don't think they used him the right way. Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought he was. Well, okay.
He was good, but
wasn't using the way
I think he fell victim. Yeah, they didn't use him the right way. They also just Georgia Ronbo. They got
You know,
slew of guys.
yeah, that's all. If you're a good
They're
lineman
rotating
anywhere
a
in
lot.
America, or especially in the Eastern area, you're going to Georgia because you know if you get to Georgia, first of all, you're probably going to get paid, and next, you're right up front in the eyes of every NFL GM in the league because they become the mecca, the place you look if you're looking for a defensive lineman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, so true. And you know what? I think back to it's this one call I remember. I think I called in, so I listened to it a couple times. But you said something, Ronbo, was hilarious. You said about Robert Beal. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't even. You're like, I doubt that guy was even from Georgia the way he played. You know what I mean?
Rob, I mean, family, White Jack, we gotta go, man, because I'm late tonight. I'm gonna tell you what, though. I'm gonna see you Friday, and let's start up against it again. All right.
All right, Ronbo. Hey, real quick, let me get a Niner shout out real quick.
Oh, can do with pleasure. Niners for white chocolate. WC.
Wow. Exquisite, Ronbo. Love the platform. Love you. Love the community. Bang, bang. White chocolate out, baby.
Always great different fam. See you this weekend. All right. Yo.
Talk to you soon, man.
All right. AAA, get on in here, man.
What's up, Ronbo?
No, AAA, man, just sitting there feeling good about this defensive line, bro. You know, because last year we knew we weren't going to stop no run, but we still AAA, have we been lying to ourselves for the last couple of years? They've been bringing in Band-Aids, trying to get it to work on the defensive line. Teams are still setting records on us. We're glad. You know what? I laughed about what Saquon did to the Rams, but what if we had to play the Eagles last year as like we stopped the run? Ooh, God. So you know what I'm saying? We're better now. Bam. Trent Williams is back. Kendrick Bourne, I want to know if you. I'm trying to check if I can get a petition signed to bring back KB, but I do want Amari Cooper. And that defense, coaches said great things. AAA, you're on.
Yeah, I mean, last year, if we had that defense from last year, and we played the Eagles.
Oh.
You know, they're actually the Super Bowl champions.
Ooh.
But man, it would have been a bloodbath. They would have ran us over. Saquon would have probably ran for like, I don't know, 200 rushing yards.
They might. I mean, I'm talking like they would have had to call 911 at the end of the first quarter. It would have been brutal. Ooh.
Yeah, but this year, we kind of revamped that defensive line. And I heard Chris Kosari talk good things about Bryce Huff.
Oh, Bryce, yeah.
Like, man, I mean, his get off is so switchy. Like, he's so explosive
and quick and strong. That motherfucker. Wham! Throw that defense. Huge dude. Bryce throwed him into the dirt like he was a child. Oh, God. That dude has got some skills. Can't wait to see him in action.
I know. And, you know, for Mykel Williams, Nick Bosa said he has a lot of talent, so
Nick said that about Drake Jackson too. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. But we'll see. But I think he might be. Well, I think he's a. When he first touched on the field, he'll be like a great run defender. Cause from what I heard, he's a really good run defender on defense. So. Yep. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the defense this year, you know, under Robert Saleh.
Yeah. He likes speed, speed, speed. No assing around. You're not going to play for Robert Saleh. You will be cut in another month or two. So better put that speed on display if you're out there.
Yep. And I think for Fred Warner talk good things about Nick Martin.
Again, more adventures of the 49ers. I can't wait to see Nick and Fred together. I mean, you got Nick playing with his idol. You know he's going to be trying to impress Fred on a daily basis on each and every play. Ooh, yes.
Yeah. And don't forget about D. Winters. They say he's improved, so
I hope so.
that linebacker competition is going to be interesting.
You're right. Because you're right. You reminded me. I did forget about D. Winters. I hadn't thought about him in a long time. D.H., I know you're out there, brah. Nick's the new toy. You know, that's why everybody's talking about him. But the dude can play,
Yeah.
so D's got his work cut out for him no matter what.
But yeah, and the good news also today was that Trent Williams was there today, so that's good news.
Makes me feel better right away. Because, you know, we're already worried about that line as it is. You go tell me Trent has got a problem, he can't play this year? And, you know, Trent, they listened. PFF fired him up, I know. Trent, can you see Trent on his phone? Say, list me as a fourth best left tackle in the game? This must be a typo. Trent's really egotistical like that, too. Because remember that Green Bay Packer left tackle was getting paid, and he got paid X amount of dollars, and Trent told the 49ers, well, I got to get paid more than, he's got an interesting name, I can't remember, but I got to get paid more than that. And they did. They gave Trent a few more dollars, and the Green Bay left tackle said, Trent, that's really petty, man. I enjoyed that so much. But go ahead, fam.
But
I said I wouldn't do this to you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I think you mentioned about KB from the Patriots.
Right.
I mean, I heard there was rumors about him, you know, potentially, you know, getting traded or cut, but I mean, I don't.
It's okay.
I wouldn't mind bringing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, but I mean, we got, you know, rookies like Jordan Watkins.
Yeah. They need snaps.
You know, I was because they need to prove themselves. You know, like Jacob Cowling, Pearsall.
Yeah.
So
I edited it. Okay. I've already been talked out of it already just by what you just said. I mean, what am I thinking? I can't bring Kendrick in here. He can't have no snaps. Fam, we got to roll because I started too late tonight. But I'll be looking for you Friday, AAA. All right.
All right, Ronbo.
Fam.
Have a good night, fam.
You too. Appreciate you. Good night, AAA. Lorenzo. Lorenzo out of New Mexico way. Lorenzo.
What's happening there, Ronbo?
Lorenzo, man, I'm just sitting back here feeling so excited about the season. I ain't felt this way in a while. Because, you know, the pressure's been on us. Even as fans, the pressure's been on us. Because, like, man, Niners, don't go in there and embarrass us. We start thinking about me. Don't embarrass me. Even if we embarrass you. I mean, I got to come up out of that anyway. But I'm sitting there. But the pressure's off now. I just want to watch some good football. And we got some good pieces in there, you know. So, you know what I'm saying? The defense is looking good. From what I understand, Trent Williams is back. I'm starting to drop my argument about Kendrick Bourne. You can touch on that if you like. Mykel Williams is looking like he's getting ready to make things better. and that boy we just got from Philly, Bryce. Rizzo, cut it loose.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season too, Ronbo. Yeah, fuck them Cowboys. And,
They're already making headlines for various really weird stuff that has nothing to do with winning football.
yeah,
Hilarious.
but I think back, that's all the time I'm gonna give them anyway. But I think our defense is going to be solid. I think this year, with all the young players, I think if you make this team, you're gonna have to be pretty damn good. You know,
Good point.
and and even on the young receivers and all that. I don't know about bringing in everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you wish you could bring in everybody.
Always.
But you always want, hey, yeah, we should get this guy too. Oh yeah, the fuck, you act like you're the owner and shit.
And you bring these guys in, they don't look like they did when they left the place they were from. Over half the time.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Brock's a $255 million man too now.
I know.
So, didn't I tell you he was going to sign for 53, 54, or 54, 55? I think I told you, right?
I think we was in lockstep on that. I thought somewhere between 50 and 53 as well. So yeah. Well, everybody said, "Man,
smart.
give him $40 million. If he don't like it, you tell him what." Man, come on, man. What? God.
Next year he'll be like the 10th highest paid.
Yeah.
And,
Anyway, it takes only 1 year.
Yeah. I was glad with that. But yeah, our defense, I'm just excited, man. And then some of the second-year guys are supposed to be looking real good too. That
We knew they would.
I love.
Hey, fam. Hey, when you call in, don't come off mute. Because if we take one at a time, we'll get to you. Hang tough. We'll get to you. Please don't interrupt. Okay. Go ahead, Lorenzo.
Yeah, so I'm thinking. I mean, you can't. These guys, they're getting good at their game. John and and Kyle. I think they kind of finally getting it. It takes a while.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's healthy. Did you see that thing on Trent Williams? He's looking all slim.
Man,
you might look like you can go out shopping for Slim Fit and shit.
I was just saying, and he needed to, didn't he? You seen him last year sitting on the sideline, way overweight, and they got the IV in his arm. I said, "What, W?
Yeah,
That's my starting left tackle." God.
Yeah, we went from like one pass rusher to like about four all of a sudden, real quick. Well, two anyway, but like a very potential 3 or 4 more.
Yes.
So I'm pretty excited. And running back, we're pretty. It looks like we're pretty stacked.
Oh, got way too many
Receivers.
We can't have too many.
I mean, who else are you going to bring in, and where are you going to put them?
Yeah, Kenny Bourne. I got this. I just it's a nostalgic attachment to Kendrick Bourne because he did so. Remember that Washington game we won in the rain, and if it wasn't for Kendrick, we might not have won that game.
He's snatching them out of everywhere.
He was
he was something else. Yeah, but we've got. Sometimes you just got to move on.
Yeah, you
got
do.
Some good young players.
Yeah, you do. So
second year guys are looking good.
Yeah.
So we got still got a badass team. Core players.
Damn right.
Every position got a badass. Highest paid in the league.
Or two.
So I'm with to follow up. Yeah, D Winter's supposed to be looking good. Yeah, like you were saying.
Okay, that's the second time. So, all he had to have was Nick, anybody to come and show, hey, wait a minute, man, you ain't getting my job. This is my work 2 years for this job. No damn way. So good, D. Have some shame and pride. Good. Like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be super stacked. I think, for young guys, and then we're going to have them for a while, at least the next 4 years, all of them, 4 or 5 years. So,
rookie contracts. Yeah.
All of them, rookie contracts and second-year contracts,
Mm-hmm.
And even Mustafa will be back next year, we got to count him out.
Somebody said he might be back this year.
Yeah, he might be back later in the year because he did it, the end of the year? Or when did he do that?
Yeah, exactly. That St. Louis game, which was unnecessary. He had to get hurt. Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think some of these young players, man, we got so much speed, though. God, we got speed everywhere.
So Robert Saleh defensive
secondary,
style.
Yeah, linebackers, everyone is quick. defensive line. And I think yeah. And what they moving now? What's his name? What's that center's name? Everybody's always busting on.
Brendel, Jake Brendel.
Yeah, I think they said they're moving him to tackle.
What?
He's going to be at the tackle position now. I heard that today.
Now, see, I didn't. So that means McKivitz is going to sit down another way?
I don't know, but they said they're moving Brendel to tackle, and doesn't mean he's going to start. But you know.
But who's going to play? I missed that report. Who's going to play center? Who are they polishing up?
I don't know. But I know that's what they were saying today. Somebody was saying, he was saying they're going to put him over there, which I don't know, might be better, I guess.
Well, yeah, well, anything's better than putting him at center. Maybe.
Who the fuck is that one guy we got that's like 6, like bigger than Trent?
Zakel. You know, offensive lineman?
Yeah.
That dude, Zakel is huge.
Yeah.
And they've been grooming him to be center for like 3 years. he ain't ready yet. You're not moving him.
Yeah, but whenever they were, I think they've been keeping some guys secret,
I know.
They're not like putting them up there, so I think we're not, that's why they didn't re-sign all those players, some of the offense, they weren't all that good anyway, Except for our guard was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Jake could be replaced.
We're gonna be all right. Ronbo, don't be losing too much sleep on that.
No, I'm sleeping pretty good. You know what I'm saying? There's always good stuff, man. I'm gonna see you Friday and see. We're gonna find out more about Jake Brendel too. All right.
You polish up that trophy. All right. Have a good night. Bang bang.
You too, fam.
Later.
Night, fam. We quickly rush over to Anthony.
What do you do, Ronbo?
Anthony, it's what is it gonna do is coming up. You know what I'm saying? You got Trent back in camp, leaning out like he's been hanging out with Jenny Craig for the last month.
Yeah. I think kind of good for the losing weight on that angle, man.
Oh yeah, and he already is fast. How fast is it gonna be now? Oh hell yeah.
But they show Huff. Man, that dude is something serious.
You watch his film? It's exciting. Damn. They're gonna put him in a position where he can be, he can play his best football, and not ask him to do things that are out of his wheelhouse. So he should be.
Because they asked the defense coordinator about it, and he was like, "No." We're not gonna ask him to do nothing. We gonna let him play to the script and just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. And that only makes sense. Why would I bring you over and ask you to do something you can't do very well? And this is a professional league where I need you to do the best you can possibly do. It makes no sense.
That's a bit. Fangio want him to be something he ain't. And they ain't see eye to eye.
And paying him as much money as you got to pay him? You better make sure he can get the job done.
Yeah. This dude is a pure edge rusher, Ronbo.
Oh, God, extraordinary.
Fast, he's fast, but they show him.
You seen that clip?
Trent Williams look good. That's all. They had a clip on, man. Trent Williams look real good, too.
Yeah, Trent's going to be working Nick and Bryce out. Because Trent said, I'm lean now. Yeah. Y'all come on in and running in with that stuff. I'll show you what, I can't wait. This is, iron sharpens iron.
I told my friend, I said, man, look. I said, you got Hull coming out, man. Nick coming out there. You got Mykel Williams coming up through the middle.
Don't forget my boy CJ. I can see right now. Yeah, did y'all see Jay? Bam! Oh, that's a big, mean-looking dude, and he can play. Anthony? I'm looking at CJ West on that.
They would.
Oh, go. I'm sorry. I thought you lost it.
They're bragging about your boy, too.
Yeah. I'm looking at CJ's size. The boy's got cuts, all that meat. You know, a lot of times you see a guy that big, they look smooth. CJ's huge and got cuts. I said, oh, but
He got some big old. He got some.
Who?
Well, got some cannon for arms. But
I don't just see
big
them.
arm, Ronbo.
Yeah. Did you see the triceps defined like a world class bodybuilder? What? Man, there's no surplus meat there. That's all useful.
Yeah, that big boy.
So you know, we're gonna be all right. Come running
Oh,
up
they
through
showed. Oh, Ronbo. Sebastian Gutierrez. They show Trent Williams steamrolling, man.
Oh no! You know what though? I didn't. Gutierrez is he's still with the 49ers because I thought they didn't bring it. Oh, I guess they're gonna keep him in camp. He'll make the team though because he's on a different program.
That's a new rookie.
Hey, what was the name of
we got from
Oh, this guy you're talking about on defense.
That's a new rookie. That's a new rookie we got.
You're right.
We got.
His name is also.
He tried to block. That yeah, he good. I like that dude, but he was going to get Trent Williams.
Yeah, that's
Trent
not
steamrolling, man.
Yeah, that's not fair. I mean, Trent Williams does that to all pros on defense. Now, you know.
Yeah. You got to understand, man. When I saw it, I was like, oh, man. I said, hey, man, that ain't right, man.
No, that's good for him. See, if you can endure and still survive Trent Williams, you can survive anything. It's like playing dodgeball. Don't throw balls.
Yeah,
throw wrenches.
I think, you know, it was just funny when I saw it. I was like, oh, man. I said, well, welcome to the NFL, y'all, man.
Bam! Oh.
Trent.
what was that? That was Trent Williams. All right? Let me help you up. Yeah. He'll be all right. And he'll learn from it. That's what I like. So Williams must be ready to play. If he's out there beating up on youngsters like that, he's not like that, I don't think. So he must be ready to go.
They showed left. He was having a ball with Mykel Williams. They were laughing. I said, this is my first time I was seeing Trent in camp laugh and cut up like that with them boys, man.
You know, it's the weight loss and proud to be back in the city and being told you're the fourth best in the game. He's ready to go.
And Brock was talking about Jordan Watkins. Talking about how fast he is.
See that?
And say he came in looking like a pro.
No, they're talking a lot about him too. Anthony, we got to go though.
Yeah,
because I came in here too late tonight. But look, bookmark that, and I will see you Friday, and let's continue where we left off. All right?
Remember, I missed you the other time. I messed around with the sleep waiting for you to come on.
No. See, that's what I got to stop doing. That's why I've been getting here early Friday. I ain't playing. All right.
All right, Remember, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Anthony. My apologies on that.
Yeah.
All right, fam. I'll see you Friday.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Mykel. Maybe we ain't talked to Mykel in a while. Mykel roll the bows and songs. Hallelujah. Mykel?
Yeah. Ronbo, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mykel, because I've been concerned. We've not seen you in a while. And we'd heard you were having, Nikita was keeping us updated about what was going on with
you. Right?
Huh?
Okay.
Are you doing okay?
Hey. Doing all right, man. I've been busy cleaning up. I know my daughter was telling me about the trade with the 49ers and Eagles.
Yeah. That's right. We haven't seen you since then. That's right. We got Bryce. And if he looks anything like he looks on that clip, because we found out he was hurt last year.
Then I was reading an article. Did you see an article about a former Ram / Lion got arrested? Not arrested, but he got escorted out of church.
For what?
For telling the priest he's saying something about the priest with his computer and all that stuff.
What?
There's an article. I'll tell you. There's a guy. Yeah. I don't know if he still plays. There's an article. Former Rams, Lions. What a combination that is. His name was Jake. His name was Jake, McQuaide. He was escorted out, because he showed the priest. I said, oh, boy, Ram fans are going to go to hell now. That's a curse, Ram fans. You touch the priest, you might say adios amigos.
We got to knock on wood.
Boy,
we got to knock on wood, Mykel. At least we don't have 49ers out there embarrassing us like that. That's really that is strange.
Players they show respect, man. 49er Empires, man. The players, they show respect. They help the kids out in the hospital. They show up and show some love at the hospitals in California. That's what I call respect. And that's what I say, wow.
They're great in the community, no doubt.
Oh, great community. One of the best, I think. And I feel bad for the Knicks, man. They got beat, and they fired their coach.
I know.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah.
That's tells you you're never safe in any sport. You're not safe. Doesn't matter if you one game short to get to the championship, man. You get fired. Doesn't matter. It happens in football, too. Kyle, remember, if you get pretty far and you get knocked out, you better hope,
Hey, but you know what on that, Mykel? Now, who they going to hire no coach is going to come to New York. Thibodeau had 50 wins plus twice.
They're talking about Jason Kidd. No, they're talking about Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd? Is he leaving?
he's with Dallas, but you never know. No, New York's a big city. You say New York is like L.A. and, the big market city. It's like San Francisco,
Yeah.
L.A. is a big city. L.A., New York, for any sport. Doesn't matter. Baseball, basketball,
Mykel, one thing, though, our defense, man, it's starting to look, coaches are raving about it.
Yeah, our defense should look good, and I think now with Salah, I think our defense is going to look like a Madden machine. Like, we're going to go crazy out there. You wait. I just can't wait to get him hyped up again. You know how Salah is. He gets all pumped up on the sideline. I can't wait. I love that. I love that kind of coach. That's the kind of coach I like, to pump you guys up. Guys not doing good, he'll pump them up, and then he'll start like that. Oh, yeah. And Seattle's our first game. Imagine that.
I know,
Boy, Eric.
The unknown again. I don't know what the Hawks are doing over there, but I do not see them as being a bad team this year. In fact, I don't have a bad team.
Anybody could win our division. Ronbo, anybody could win our division.
Don't
count the Cardinals out either.
Do I ever? I'm the guy who's always overly worried about the Cardinals.
Yep. All four teams are going to be good. Rams, Niners, Cardinals, and Seahawks. It's going to be, they got to eat, it's going to be all healthy and matchups. We got to start off hot in our, we got to win our first game. And Tony, I can't believe, right? We're playing Atlanta Falcons on a Sunday night football. Wow.
They put it a Sunday night game, huh?
Tony Wright's Falcons. Yep. That's all right. It's good for Tony because he can watch it. It's going to be a good game.
No, and it's fun. We'll be able to talk about it because these are two good guys. You got Eric with the Hawks. Yep. You got Tony with the Falcons. Yeah. It'll be a fun exchange after the game, no matter what.
And then you got Nikita with the Eagles,
Yeah. No, Nikita's the only Eagle fan we can actually get along with, though. Eagles fans can be very obnoxious.
Oh, I made sure she'd be a good girl. Oh, I straighten her out if she doesn't behave.
Oh, yeah.
I straighten her out. She knows better.
There you go. No, Eagles fans, I put them on the same level with the Raider fans on the West Coast. They're the East Coast Raider fans. My God, they could get way out of line.
Watch that. Maybe the Raiders might improve this year. We don't know, man. You got to watch out with them, too, with Pete Carroll.
No, they will. They will because they got Pete Carroll.
They will. But I think the Chiefs might go down a little. Not too much, but a little.
If I can be, that's going to be funny. The Chiefs.
Because
when you lose the Super Bowl, you generally come back looking a little bit strange. Remember what we did?
And with Ayuk being like this, man, you better grow up, boy. You're going to be the next one out.
I keep forgetting about
I think he's going to be gone. I think Ayuk is going to be gone.
He's taking shots.
I think if he keeps on doing this kind of act, 49ers are not going to take this lightly. 49ers are a good, strong organization that don't tolerate crap like that. You know that, Ronbo. They won't tolerate that.
I know. Spending energy, taking shots at the fans.
Get rid of him. They don't care if they trade him. He's replaceable. He is replaceable. Trust me. There's a lot of guys that he can get replaced by. And Piersall could be the next one that could be the step in line with number one. Him and Jennings right there. Here's your two guys.
Yeah.
And you got Cowan, you got these other guys that we picked up.
We got guys we don't know anything much about yet, and they could be the next side.
And then they were talking about CMC. They're hoping that he gets better. If not, he does. They might not think he might be the same.
No. Mike, where'd you hear that? I'm hearing CMC looks like he's running on a trampoline. They said that dude's got more bounce in his stride, moving and hitting the front. CMC's already in midseason form. So,
Let's see. But see how he handles contact. That's what I'm worried about. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
the problem with a guy like him getting older, and then you got these young guys that are like the beast, man. They could, you got to think of that. His injury is not something you play with. And that's one thing I tell people, man. One more shot, he might be gone.
Oh, Mykel, no! Don't talk him into existence.
You got Ronbo.
Don't worry about it. You're worse than me. Don't worry about things that haven't happened.
That's why Kyle's got to sit running back. That's why Kyle can't use the CMC. He's got to use every one of them. Rotate them, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? He's got to rotate.
I hope so.
You got to play the cards right, man.
You got it. Michael, we got to go, and I will see you Friday.
All right, Ronbo, I'll see you
right.
Friday, yeah.
Good to hear from
All
you
right,
quickly,
you have a good
too.
one. Shout out to Tony Wright, Papa J, and all my 49 Empire. Have a good night.
You too. Night, Michael. That's a good guy, Michael. Hey, yo, Steven.
What's up, Ronbo?
Steven, man, we're up, man. We're looking like, that team is going to be fun to watch this year. Trent Williams back in camp, looking like he's like only even a carrot and an apple all day long, and looking real mean and lean. I was just hoping he didn't lose too much size, but Trent Williams is a natural, doesn't need a lot of size. He's just good. And then, of course, you're the guy to ask, because I always like to ask you these kind of things. If I told you we could get Kendrick Bourne tomorrow, what would be your reaction? And also hit upon Mykel Williams, Bryce Huff having a hurt hand last year that we're just now finding out about. Are we ready to roll? Are we ready to roll? Who's got it better than us?
I'm gonna start with the kid. Well, I'm gonna start with the Kendrick Bourne. So I got it wrong. It wasn't Kendrick Bourne that was talking smack. It was Jarek McKinnon on IG Live, because they were in the middle of like
he really was
debating
bad.
on whether or not they wanted to keep McKinnon or Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne, I don't mind him. I don't mind him at all. I don't know. I haven't seen his recent highlights. I know he didn't do too well in New England, but what I do know is that if he were to be added on, then you might as well just say goodbye to Brandon Ayuk, because that's kind of like what we're looking at.
No, Brandon Ayuk's a lot younger.
Oh, yeah,
though.
I don't want to be number 2. I don't want to be number 3. I don't even want to be number 1. I just want to play. And if Brandon Ayuk comes back, he's like, well, I deserve, first team reps over Twan Jennings, then it's just going to get messy. And of course, he's going to post another IG story about how he thinks he's better than every other wide receiver in the room, like how he did with the Terrell Owens post.
That's not the first time I heard him talk like that either.
I could really care less about what he thinks, because he basically robbed the Niners blind. People could say, "Oh, you can't predict injury." No, but what you can predict is how good someone can be. And when you hold out of OTAs and practice and stuff like that leading up to the season, then you kind of falter. You miss a huge step. You don't just be like, "Oh, I'm going to pick up where I left off the season before." He's only had one good season. 110%. If you're gonna perform, you got to perform.
Michael, your reception.
Oh yeah, he did. He balled out every, the last 2 seasons, and yeah, the contract fits. The contract fits perfectly, but he only had one really good season. And
Kendrick, he got hurt though.
Seasons have been mediocre. His rookie season, he didn't even really get to play because he's in the doghouse, which is already a problem.
We're talking about. You're talking about BA.
If Kendrick Bourne comes back, I could see him replacing Brandon Ayuk, just because Brandon Ayuk, the way he is as a player. Don't get me wrong,
you have
wide receivers are divas like that, but
Steven,
he's just not up to it anymore.
Steven, I'm worried about you're not thinking clearly though. Sometimes you start disliking a player.
If he balls out, Ronbo,
Steven,
I swear, I'll bite my tongue.
Steven, you're fading in and out though. Steven, I don't know. Your reception's doing weird things. But listen, sometimes when you get into your feelings, you start to hate on players and you forget they can actually play a little bit. You remember you're on Debo like crazy, but BA is good. But he stops talking.
I don't know, Ronbo. BA, here's the thing. BA was a quick cash grab the Niners needed at a desperate time coming off of that Super Bowl loss.
Well, they didn't know what they written, though.
That's the wholehearted truth.
He wasn't a free agent.
That's the wholehearted truth.
Okay.
No, he was a quick cash grab in the draft is what I'm saying, because, he's got long arms, but his main issue was the fact that, he wasn't fast. and we were made to believe that he's fast. Yeah, he's got a great wingspan. He's aggressive. I like that.
Yeah.
But he's also
runs
got
great
that
routes.
attitude problem on and off. But so if Kendrick Bourne were to come back, it would be Juwan Jennings, obviously, Ricky Pearsall falling right behind, and then Kendrick Bourne, and then whoever falls after that. You know.
Yeah,
but,
I love it. Because I want Kendrick in a backup role. He come out there and relieve me. I didn't really have him starting or anything, but I want him in there.
Yeah. Well, you also got. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't care if he would show up or not, because I know he would be number 3. And then when Brandon Ayuk comes back, he'd have to basically climb the ladder again. How do you stack up against
You're really
How do you stack up against Juwan Jennings? But
I'd love to see you at a dinner party with BA and Debo. What would you be talking about? You guys do a great job out there, but I got a problem with this, and this.
Man, I'll tell you right now, what was this? If Debo was still on the team, man, I'd be ragging on him.
Yeah, no,
crazy. I'd be ragging on the entire Niners organization. I'd be like, why do we still have him?
Well, Debo did. He did when he was with us. He was doing spectacular things. It's just that when he fell off, he fell completely off, as if over a cliff, and that hurt.
Well, it's also because we relied on him more than anybody.
Yeah, he was. The game was built around him.
It was. Yeah. So when you have a whole game built around you, then you're going to have every opportunity you can get to catch the ball, and you're going to have a lot of opportunity to have that that freedom, that space to really get it and go. I mean, his slant routes were nasty, don't get me wrong, but that's all they had. That's all they had. And the offensive line prior to that was really good compared to the recent times.
I don't know, Steve. The offensive line.
Look at all the jet sweeps he ran. And then
that's what took the stress off the offensive line. And Shannon was doing a lot of that because of that offensive line. He knew that they were limited in what they could do. So, running quick slant rounds. Remember, him and Trent Taylor were just ridiculous when it came to running that slant. Trent actually led the league that first year, and Debo was a step behind him. And Debo was that truck that you give the ball to and have him deliver that cargo to the end zone. Bam! I said, oh, my goodness. Michael, you got it. Steve, you got to tell me you didn't love that.
Way like a truck. He used to be the truck, and now he weighs a truck. So it's unfortunate. But, no, man, I like the Bryce Huff signing. That was one thing that I really enjoyed seeing. I was like, this defense is only getting better, and that front four is getting more and more nasty. You got Mykel Williams, who's basically like Nick Bosa, but from Georgia and black. So it's like, it's great. Not only that, you got CJ West, who is 6'6", and I think about 300 pounds. And fast in the center.
Solid rock. There's no fat on that dude.
Yep.
I saw his cuts and his triceps, the thighs. You can see the clear distinct. This dude is not fat. He's just the Hulk.
Ronbo, he could see above the line of scrimmage.
You talking about Alfred. I'm not talking about CJ. CJ's just huge. I'm not sure how tall he was. So.
He's 6'6", and I think a good 300 pounds.
CJ, CJ's not that tall. I don't think. CJ's the guy that's in the middle. You're talking about the other guy, Alfred Collins.
Is it? No, I think it's CJ West. CJ West is the guy who's 6'6". Alfred Collins is
6'9" then. All right, Steve, we got to get up.
When they signed him, I was like, "Oh, go ahead."
We got to get up, though. Let me give my best to the two littles. The two littles are getting bigger, I'll bet. I got to go look at your Instagram and see how big they are.
Scarlett had a growth spurt.
She had what? Oh, I bet she did. It's about time. What's she, 2, 3? 2.
Yeah, she just turned 1. She was small, and now she's like eating like a racehorse.
Wow.
Taking long to tall, so I'm like, okay, here we go.
Steven, I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you Friday, Ronbo. You have a great night.
You too. Thanks, fam. Boom. You gotta love Steve. Steve works Debo and BA. But I gotta tell you, BA, I really hope he hasn't lost. I don't know what to expect from the halfway through a season. That was a vicious injury. Can he really recover and still be BA? I'm hoping that if it's week 8 or really 9, just don't use his route. Don't let him sit the year out. It's okay. But we got to be doing well with the rest of the guys we got. And Tony, get in there, man. Yeah.
Ronbo.
Tony. Well, Tony, I don't know. I'm relaxed this year like I haven't been in a long time, and I due to the fact that I have huge expectations. I just want to go out there. And I'm that thing where surprise me, okay? Don't surprise any bad news, but surprise me. I want to be able to appreciate every last rookie, even their mistakes. He learned, you know. So well, I'm looking forward to this year. Trent Williams is back, and you're the guy. I love guys who are opinionated like yourself and others. I want to ask you about Kendrick Bourne. Give me some about his return, and is a trade worth wasting that time? And Mykel Williams getting good grades from the coaches. All right, Tony, let me get back up on the street and let you talk. Get in there, man.
Ronbo, let's just forget about the defensive line, all right? Because we know that side of the ball's taken care of. You
Yeah.
know that.
Truly.
All right? You got Robert Saleh there. It's almost like a guarantee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you a question.
All right.
The Eagles quarterback, what's his name?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Would you say that Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy?
No. This argument's been going on for a couple of weeks. I refuse to yield to that. People on social media, come on, man. Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy can't hold his jock. Oh, I'll be damned. Yeah, let's go look at the numbers. But go ahead. What are the point you want to make on that? Go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you said that, and I agree with you.
Ah.
All right. So let's take the Eagles as a team. You think they know that Jalen Hurts is not the best quarterback in the league, Ronbo?
I bet they do because Eagles fans are something else. They probably won't admit it, though.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. All right, but they don't have Powder Puff Chris on their coaching squad who thinks he can turn an offensive lineman. He can make an offensive lineman out of a
homeless person,
out of anything.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I know.
So what do? They've got the best offensive line in the whole entire league to protect their quarterback.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Ronbo,
Super
they won
Bowl.
a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. With not the best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this year, all is taken care of. And I know we're all getting happy and chirpy and all this shit. You know what I mean? The season's starting. I'm looking forward to it too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to me, you got to prove to me you just paid your quarterback $53 million a year, all right, that you're going to protect him. Because if the silverback goes down and McKivitz pulls a hammy, who's going to take their spots?
It sounds like Jake Brendel. Did you hear? Somebody just mentioned earlier, I didn't see the report yet, that Jake Brendel's going to be moved out from the center position to a tackle position. I got to find out more about that.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Ronbo? The proof is in the pudding, as I say. So the Eagles have proven a point to everyone, all right? And so have the Chiefs. When the Chiefs don't have an offensive line, Kermit the Frog's running for his life and they can't win.
Or being torn apart like a chicken
and
wing.
he's supposed to be the best in the league.
Yeah.
All right. But the Eagles proved that if you protect the ball distributor, you got a big chance of winning a big one.
Yep.
All right. But it hasn't seemed to filter down to our team yet. But if I said to you, we've got Robert Saleh equivalent for the offensive line, you wouldn't have to worry about that either, would you?
Well, yeah, most likely not.
Okay, well, we've got a powder puff, that's coaching the offensive line, who's got a magic wand, who can he can rub his belly like a genie, and then the offensive lineman will pop out of his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he says things that make it worse. So I agree.
Let's see how we go protecting Brock Purdy before. In my book, before I'm going to get all excited about the season.
I don't know, Tony. You know, we've had a bad offensive line for a long time. Remember those couple of seasons we were averaging like 24 points a game? As long as that continues to happen, but it didn't happen last year, so your point is well taken. But Kyle and company, they don't seem to be so overly concerned about that, and we do, and I agree with you too. If you could get some protection in there, as Jalen Hurts has just proven, it makes a damn difference.
You better hope Mac Jones is ready to go, brother.
Because Brock's going to be killed in the first few weeks.
Because if Chokerhand gets Brock Purdy killed, all right, we need somebody else in there. And, if Mac Jones is the man, I hope he's ready. And up to scratch, because these people, I don't know how they operate, but as I said, look, the proof is in the pudding. That's why I asked you that question, and I knew you were going to say no, and I agree with you. No, Jalen Hurts isn't better than Brock Purdy. But he's got all the protection in the world. It's a fortress around him, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Which gives him time to get rid of the ball. If we put the same fortress around Brock Purdy, you know what I would say for this year? We're going to the Super Bowl.
You know what, though, Tony? One thing to just offset on that, also, Jalen had Saquon. Now, this time, Brock's got, CMC. Saquon made all the difference in the world, too, as well as the offensive line. But Saquon was running through some avenues that offensive line was creating, too, though, so that's another thing. But as long as I got the fears was Saquon, not Jalen, that whole year. So,
Ronbo, we've got Bobby Turner, who can turn out running backs in his sleep.
I know.
I'm not worried about that.
Amazing.
All right. We've never been short of a running back. We've always been short of an offensive line.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
For how long? For how long? Since Bill Walsh days.
Yeah. But Tony, at the same time, that speaks to CMC had a great year. He was like the offensive player of the year. That's why it's like Feliciano said, the guy we just retired. He says, "Yeah, well, people say great things about the offensive line, but then they say bad things about great things about the offense, but they say bad things about the line." I mean, he just left it there on that tweet. I says, okay, I'm gonna try to pump the brake a little bit on the offensive line. He's got a good point. If the offensive line's that bad, why did we do as well as we did offensively? And I know you're thinking, Tony, we could go to the next level of good if we had a better offensive line, and I agree with that too. But I don't know.
We do that well because our quarterbacks got the escapability. All right, when he's running for his life, and he can let go of the ball, and 8 out of 10 times it'll hit the target. That's why, Ronbo. But put what was his name? That dude we used to have as quarterback, the guy that used to cop it all the time. You seem to forget those days. CJ Beathard.
Oh yeah. See what Tony? We got to go. Listen. I want to talk about that when you get next week. Don't forget. I'm gonna make a note of that. The CJ Beathard versus offensive line. That's a great subject. Tony, we got to go now though. I'll see you Friday. Okay.
All right, brother. Shout out to Evan Ellis, Big Show, Papa Dragon, 49 Abraham, the resident bastard, Smooth, and all the truck drivers out there that keeping the country rolling,
right.
keeping you all fed.
Oh, yes. Ooga. All right, Tony, have a great day, fam.
All right, brother. I'll see you in the next chapter.
Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
Yeah, that's a good point. C.J. Beathard, the toughest quarterback I've ever seen. C.J. would get hit, and the camera couldn't even keep up with how fast. You'd see him just out of the clip. Whoa! And C.J. get up, dust himself, ready for the next step. Says, Jesus, most guys wouldn't have got up from that. Damn, C.J. Good Lord. So, I'm proud of CJ, but and CJ had one of the most beautiful deep passes I've ever seen. If I had to rank, Manning had great passes. CJ, Russ Wilson, Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick Cap had one of the greatest arms of all time. Kaepernick could throw the ball out of the stadium too, but we weren't. What Cap had been like with a guy like Tyreek? These days are gone. There's no point in speculation now. But But the problem with Cap was you could be like 10 yards away, and Cap would still unleash that howitzer of an arm of his. And remember we watched wide receivers, the ball would just go through the hand like a bullet, like they had gotten shot. The Cap, little touch, baby. Oh, but what we had one receiver that could catch him. The guy we got from the Ravens, because the dude was butt strong, is what it was. So, fam, I tell you what we're going to take off. This is early season now. People aren't focused completely on football just yet. But listen, tell you what, I'll see you Friday, and let's see what develops in Santa Clara as far as camp goes. And I will see you Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, fam, please. And hit like, Niners!